Hi there, and welcome to Shafii Academy with Dr. Yusuf Noor. Today, in this lesson, I'm going to show you how to find the lowest common multiple, the LCM, and the highest common factor, the HCF, of two numbers using the prime factor tree and Venn diagram. This is a kind of questions that you always see in the GCSE and IGCSE exams. You better pay attention to understand it. Okay? Sound like a plan? Let us get into it. Okay, the title is HCF and LCM. HCF stands for the highest common factor and LCM stands for the lowest common multiple. And we got a kind of two learning objects. Find the highest common factor is our first learning objects, and finding the lowest common multiple is our second learning objective. So let's start. Highest common factor and lowest common multiple of 6 and 8. Let us start with HCF first. Okay, to find the HCF, first we need to find all factors of 6. As we have seen before, the 6 has got 4 factors, 1, 2, 3, and 6. And we do exactly the same for 8. 1 times 8, 2 times 4, and that's it. What do they have in common, 6 and 8? They got factor 1 in common, and they got factor 2 in common. Which one is highest? Obviously 2 is highest. So that is in essence how you find the highest common factor, the HCF of two numbers. Let us see the LCM now. So to find the LCM, we need to get the multiple of each of the two numbers. So let us first take the first 10 multiple of 6, and let us take the first 10 multiple of 8, and then let us try to see if they got any factors in common. As you see, they got 24 in common, and they got 48 in common. The question is which one is lowest? 24 is lowest. So this is how you find the LCM of two numbers. We have seen before, so this is a kind of revision of the first lessons. Okay, previous lessons. If the numbers gets bigger, as you will see, it takes lots of time to find the HCF and to find the LCM, because you need to get all factors of 48, which is quite a lot. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pairs, which is actually 10. And same for 60. If you got all factors of 60, if you got more than 10, you got 12 factors. You need to list all of them. And then you need to find what they got in common. They got lots of factors in common. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12 in common. Which one is the highest? The 12 is the highest. Okay? Same for LCM. If we do LCM, find the LCM of 48 and 50. We need to list at least the first 10 multiple of 48, which is this, and the first 10 multiple of 64, which is this. And do they have anything in common? They got, and what do they have in common? As you can see this list, do you see anything they got in common? No, they don't have anything in common, which simply means we need to carry on and carry on and carry on until we got something, a multiple that they got in common, even if it's going maybe 15 or 20 multiples. Now this takes lots of time, and it takes lots of space, and that's where the maths comes to help you. Okay, and that's where we are going to introduce a new way of finding the LCM, and that new way is called prime factor tree. As the word explains, I think we have seen before, as the word suggests, we are going to grow a tree. Okay, so let's do that. That's our background. Let's take 48. Now here it's saying prime factor, so we only interested the factors which are prime. What is the lowest prime number that you know? The lowest prime number that you know is 2. So let's divide this by 2. 48 can be divided by 2. 24. Can 24 be divided by 2? Yes, because 24 is even number, and even number has got a factor of 2. So we divide this by 2, and then we got 12. Again, we divide by 2, and then we got 6. Again, we divide by 2, and we end up with 3, which is a prime factor. So we got all prime factors of 48. We're going to write down 48 as a multiple of its prime factors. as a product of its prime factors. So 48 is 2 times 2 times 2. As you see, that's 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 3 is 48. We're going to do exactly the same for 48, for 50. 50 again is even number, so we can divide by 2. We got 25. Can 25 be divided by 2? No, 25 is odd number. So we stop the 2. What comes after the 2 in the list of prime numbers? After 2, we got 3. Can 25 be divided by 3? No, 3 is not a factor of 25. And then we move on in the list of prime numbers. What comes after 25? 5 comes, and 5 can be divided by 25, and that gives you 5, which is prime number. Okay, so again we write down 50 as a product of its prime factors, which is 2 times 5 times 5. Now, how do we find the LCM now? That is how we find the LCM. We see what they got in common, and as you can see, they got 1, 2 in common. We don't repeat that one, we just take 1, and to be honest, that is the HCF. 2 is the HCF of 48 and 50. So we take the HCF and all what is left. So if we say that blue 2 is what they got in common, okay, that blue 2 is what they got in common, we just take 1 time and we times the rest. Okay, so this is what they got in common, and we take the rest. Okay, now how we find the LCM and HCF at the same time using the prime factor 3? Let us do this together. Okay, that's the background. Let's take H1. Cannot be divided by 2, we know it. I think it can be divided by 3, and it gives you 27. It can be divided by 3. It gives you 9. Divided by 3, it gives you 3. And if you times them, that's what you got for 81. And you got exactly something like this for 36. Divided by 2 is 18. Divided by 2 is 9. Divided by 3 is 3. So we write down 36 as product of the prime factors. That's what we got. Now here, we're going to see what they got in common. And they got 3 times 3 in common, 9 in common. Now we're going to use, and that is the HCF. What they got in common is your HCF. So 9 is your HCF. How do we find the LCM? The LCM we can find by taking this and multiplying what is left. For example, this one there are 2, 2 left, and this one there are 3, 3 left. So 2, 2 times 3, 3 times what they got in common. And that gives you the HCF is 3 times 3, and the LCM is 324. This is how you find the LCM and HCF at the same time. Now, we can use Venn diagram to order our data. So this is already what we find, nothing new. Let's take 81 there and 36. So Venn diagram, all what it does, it actually helps us to order our numbers. So what they got in common goes there, and what's left for 81, there are 2 3s left, and what's left for 36, there are 2 2s left. What's your HCF is that bit which is in the middle, 3 times 3, the overlap. And what's the LCM? LCM is everything. You need to times all of them together. This is how you find it. LCM and HCF using Venn diagram. I think this is repetition. Let's see if it gives us anything new. It's another number. Yeah, actually it's 48. So this was supposed to be 48. So you listed the 48 and you listed the 60. You find what they got in common. You write down what they got into common in the middle. What's left is 2, 2, 4, 48, and 5. So that number was supposed to be 48. Okay? That's a mistake. 2 times 2 times 3. That's what is inside the overlap. And that is your HCF. And what's left is your LCM. Okay, that's it. Okay, so you have learned how to find the HCF, the highest common factor, and the lowest common multiple, the LCM, using prime factor 3 and the Venn diagram. I hope you enjoy, and thank you for watching, and see you in another interesting maths lesson. Thank you.